Welcome to Super Movie Brothers. Let's start the show.
This is a podcast on the Podfix Network. You can check out more shows like it at podfixnetwork.com.
Welcome to Super Movie Brothers, episode 156. I'm your host, Super Movie Brother Dave.
I'm your host, Super Movie Brother Jay.
The theme of this week, brevity. That's the theme of this week. Brevity. That's right, yeah. We're not going to have our normal long-winded 1 hour, 45-minute episodes or even 2-hour-long episodes.
Not that we shoot for that time, exactly. We really don't.
Just what happens.
Sort of happens that way.
Just what happens. Sometimes there's just so much shit we want to pack into each episode.
Yeah, and we have a sort of a formula that we like to abide by normally.
Yeah, so instead we're just going to do a...
it's our show. We can do whatever we want, right?
This is a basic bitch episode is what this is.
Yeah.
We're underselling it before we haven't even gotten annoying to people yet, and they're already shutting it off. They're like, basic bitch episode. Shut up.
Tonight we're just gonna be that blonde with the sunglasses on, getting our Starbucks, and
That's
just
true.
Basic,
So what we got planned for tonight is literally it's going to be a catch up with me and Jay, what we've been watching and stuff like that. We got some movie reviews, brief 5-minute-ish reviews, and we got some trailer park breakdowns, some new beer reviews, and then we're going to get the fuck out of here, man.
That's right.
So, Jay.
It's been 1 week since you looked at me. Cocked your head to the side and said I'm angry.
What are you up to this week, man? What you been up to? What'd you get down to? Did you do anything fun?
I don't know, man. I mean, there was Father's Day. I hung with the family a little bit. I did a little bit of work. I hung with some friends.
Father's Day, you say?
Father's Day.
Let me tell you about mine.
Because I didn't have too much of an eventful week.
Well, you don't have
per
kids,
se.
so you definitely didn't have an eventful Father's Day.
That is true. That is true. And I didn't do too much other than hang out with the family. Didn't go over the top with my pop at all. I've done a lot of small gifts though this year, sprinkled in every month and a half. I've
while he was
given
laid up,
him something
while he was laid up from back and shoulder surgery. You did everything around the house. Sounds pretty giving to me, my friend.
Oh, yes.
Although
Gifts keep on giving.
Yeah. Although he does offer you rent-free living, so
yeah,
toss up.
I mean, I pay for their phones and their phone bills.
You contribute, goddammit.
I contribute a little bit.
Contribute, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like my presence, keeps them, young.
Yeah. Sure. We'll go with that.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, when you walk past, you're just like, what the fuck is he going to move the fuck out? Jesus Christ.
I know. They are very conflicted because it's funny because my sister was the first one to move out and now she just got married. But ever since, they crawl at every morsel of consuming every bit of her. My dad and her go to get brunch 3 days a week. They talk on the phone 20 times a day. My mom twice a day. It's just it's weird. They can't.
Absence, my friend, it makes the heart grow fonder.
I know.
Your parents will love you more when you're out the fucking house.
But I'm barely there. That's the thing.
Right, which means they look at you and they go,
How long is this going to keep on going?
So Father's Day for me, man, let me tell you, I had an excellent Saturday before Father's Day. I had my brother over, my dad over.
Gorgeous weather.
Yeah.
Gorgeous day.
Grilled some steaks. Kids went swimming. Good stuff. Kids played, and everyone was happy for the most part, parted ways and stuff. Sunday, my day, my daughter, she wakes up and she's just a fucking adorable little pill all day. And that's part of the course. You get good days, you get bad days. Sour Patch Kid through and through. That's my kid. She's sour, she's sweet, it's whatever. But she was having such a day. And at one point, my wife just asked her, your dad does so much for you and you're being so mean to him. And she's like, you like coming here and seeing your dad, right? And she's like, no. She's like, I just want to go home with my mommy. And she was
Are
like,
you serious?
and so like Lauren asked her, she's like, so you never want to come here again? She goes, no, I miss my mommy too much. I don't ever want to come here again.
What?
And I was like right there, like
Yeah, you told me that she said some fucked up shit that broke your heart, but
like,
my God, that is like
eating dinner. And I was
that's
just like,
beyond what I thought.
I was immediately like, I'm not hungry anymore. And I'm just going to go to my room now by myself and play video games. And that's what I did. I went to my room and I played video games. And I was heartbroken.
I'm sure the whiskey came out that night.
Yeah. No, I didn't drink that night. It was Sunday. I had to take her back early the next day. So, man,
yeah.
I was like beside myself. I was like, oh my God, like, why would she say those things? Like, why is my child being so hurtful to me?
Wow. Yeah, that's
hurt my feelings so bad. And I know she's 5.
I get it.
She's 5. So I understand that, like, she's not saying.
But that is like
things.
the worst thing that
I know
a kid can say to their parent.
Oh my God, yeah,
right?
It's just like I want nothing to do with you today. And I was like, and it's not like there was any inciting incident.
And of all day,
right?
And any day of the year besides Father's Day.
But she doesn't. She's 5. She doesn't understand what Father's Day is. Still, broke my fucking heart. And like, I've had people say some vile, fucked up, hurtful things to me, and I've looked them right in the face, smiled, and came back with something. What do you say to a 5-year-old when they do this? You know, you can't tell them to put their finger up their fucking ass, and you know, you can't beat them up either. But there was no inciting incident. She didn't I didn't yell at her that day. We didn't have any issues. We had a pretty good morning, like all that stuff. And it was just like, wow. Yeah. And like, it was a very quiet, somber night because it was like she could tell she did like something wrong, but like she's like, I don't really understand. And like I didn't yell at her and I didn't chastise her. You know, we went about our normal business and stuff. Like I didn't make her feel like she did anything wrong or anything because she's 5. She doesn't understand what she's saying and doing and stuff. But I was like, fuck, that hurts so bad. And it's like, man, I dread I dread seeing my kid again because I'm gonna be like, What other fucked up things are you hiding in your little head there, huh? What other little nuggets of knowledge are you going to drop on Daddy to make him...
I really think that it was just one of those things where maybe it was a little of a depressing, rainy morning, and she just...
I don't think she was understanding the questions that were being asked to her as well.
Yeah, I think it was just maybe she was missing her mom at the time, but like I don't think she meant
that's what I mean.
At all. Like she doesn't want to come back again.
I don't take it personally and stuff like that, but it's very hurtful. It was very...
To hear those words coming out of your daughter's mouth, it's got to be...
It was like...
completely jarring.
It was like, your parents' version of, I'm not mad, I'm disappointed, but in a Nagasaki type bomb that gets dropped on you, and you're just like, God, my fucking heart.
This is why I stay with my parents, Dad.
Right?
Dave. I mean, this is like, I do this for them.
What was that Freudian slip? You just called me Dad.
I know, Dave. Actually, fun fact: my dad's name is Dave.
It's true.
So it's kind of like Dave, Dad, whatever. But no, I'm just fucking around.
I never wiped your bum, but I do take care of you when I can.
Yes, you do. If I ever got kicked out of the house, guess whose door I'm knocking on?
Yeah. There's a 5-foot long couch for your 7-foot body to lay on.
That's right. I'll make do. I'm used to my legs hanging over.
Yeah, that's right. So did you get down to doing anything else this week?
Not really, man. I mean, I started on my basketball league again. I'm still doing that. That's fun. I'm gearing up for a fun little weekend, though. I got a little shore activities going on. I got a Phillies game going on with the girl that I'm dating, and it should be a good.
I want everyone to notice
3 days
that in subsequent episodes, Jay has referred to her as his girlfriend, and in this episode, he's referring to her as the girl he's dating, which means the conversation at some point has happened that he asked her whether they are dating, and
no. However, we did have a serious conversation about kids.
See, you see how good I am at picking up this shit with you? I'm good at picking up your phrasing.
All right. You are. But I do it intentionally. But anyway, so it's one of those things where, okay.
Oh, no, Jay. That's how good I am. I know when you're subconsciously.
This is why, you went to school for forensic psychology. Like, it's your thing. Anyway, yeah, she grew up not wanting kids. And developed into now wanting kids as a 29-year-old female, and
look,
seeing how she
I have
wants
a
to progress
theory
her life.
about people.
I grew up wanting kids, and then now spending 12 years of my life working with the troubled youth of America, and putting
the kids in
so
America.
much on my line. I feel like I've lived lifelong terms with raising kids, and like I've had my fill. I have a goddaughter already. My sister's marrying into 3 kids. She's gonna have one of her own. Little Logan, I feel like she's one of my, my little nieces and stuff. So it's one of those things where
Until she tells you she never wants to see you again, it stops on your heart, Jay.
I got my fix, man. I'm good. I don't feel like I need kids on my own. I don't have that desire anymore. So like it's one of those things where I said, like, look, I really don't necessarily want kids. I'm not 100% saying no, but like if you really want kids, I might not be that guy for you. And this is not the first girl that I've had this conversation with. So it's been many girls that I've lost opportunities with, continuing on.
Oh, because you don't want to spread your seed. Look, I think what you are is an infectious disease as well, and I don't think it should be spread.
I think some girls just see the genetics, like, ooh, 6'8".
Yeah.
I wonder what that will look like. But it was one of those things where like it was an awkward dinner before we met up with my friends, and we had a good, fun rest of the night. My one buddy's birthday, and
her sister is her mother, and her grandmother, and her mother that she knows her mother is her grandmother.
I don't.
You can't say.
I feel like I can't say anything.
Yeah, don't say
I don't. I can't. But it's nothing like terribly bad. Things
is it like
awkward.
a Kennedy thing where they sent like one of their children off to like a special place?
No.
Okay. Just to a place like the type of place you work at.
So, but needless to say, it was a heavy dinner. It was a heavy dinner. But now we rebounded. It was a great, fun time.
And not because of the food. It was a heavy dinner subject matter.
And I don't know. Maybe we're just going to be a short term. I don't know. I really don't know. But I like her a lot. I really, really do. I don't want to break up with her.
Just
I don't
do what
want
every guy does.
I'm just kind of go with the flow. And I will understand if she does want to break up.
Do what every guy does when they don't want to have kids, but the girl that they're with wants to have kids.
Ghost them.
Buy a dog. Get her a dog. A dog. A dog.
She does want a dog.
A dog puts a kid off for
she wants
2 years.
A sheepadoodle, I think, or something like that. Some kind of like expensive, rare-ish dog. I think I'm saying it wrong.
Just get her a dog that buys you 2 years.
She wants a specific dog. She's obsessed. She's obsessed.
Everyone wants a specific dog until they go to a shelter, adopt some random mangy mangrel of a dog, right? That you think you fucking hate. That there's no way anyone could love this thing, and then you take it home and you fall in love with it. Then it becomes your dog, and then it's like fuck you. You'll fight anyone for talking shit on your dog. Adopt dogs, man. Don't go buying expensive dogs.
I agree. I adopted. She's not.
I adopted Luca. What a fucking asshole that dog was. That dog was a fucking broken mess. No one wanted that dog.
You did wonders with it.
He got returned 3 times, and when I saw him, I was just like, "You look like you got a little bit fucked up in you." Let's get you home, buddy. Let's see what you're gonna do. And fucked up he was. He pissed on shit. He ripped shit up. Now he never snarls at people. He's not violent.
He's the best.
He doesn't chew things up anymore. He barely pees in the house unless another dog comes in his house and pees in his house. Then he's like, gotta cover up that smell. So then he is gonna pee. So you can't win them all.
He's way better than my husky when I was growing up. Toby. He was. He stayed that way. He was always chewing shit up.
It's all about taking that alpha male streak out of them and turning them into an
he was
omega.
An alpha. My mom
real
fucking
quick.
hated him.
Oh man, so we caught up with each other this week, so let's find out what each of us has been watching. What are you watching?
What are you watching?
What are we watching?
He's trying to watch some illegal channel.
Always watching.
No, go past this part. In fact, never play this again.
All right, bud. You saw that Black Mirrors. What'd you think?
Yeah, caught up. I binged Black Mirror. So episode 1 was definitely highly ambitious.
3 hours, one sitting?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I did the same thing.
Easy to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's the right way to do it.
Okay.
And it slightly increasingly got better. For me, slightly. Overall, again, I think the season was very underwhelming.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. And
like, there's moments in Ashley, too, where you're like, kind of funny, right? Like, you're laughing at the meta jokes, and you're like, you're okay with it. But it never reaches any other pinnacle of any other Black Mirror episode. And everything in that episode is nowhere near as good as anything else that came before it. It gets you a few chuckles. The middle one, though, that's the one I wanted to know. The one that takes place in 2018. It's not a contemporary story. It's a story that takes place in the past. Like, what did you think of that episode? Because I found it extremely boring, mundane, and very.
It was very straightforward. As far as like,
and it seemed like a Michael Mann film, like, didn't it? Like it seemed like it was like a.
But I liked that aspect of it, like when it worked, because it was intriguing as far as like I was expecting something to happen, and I can't help it, and I
like what?
Thrillers.
Now some people just immediately tuned out because of the accusations.
Exactly. I was just gonna say. I'm like, we can't be bringing up Michael Jackson.
Can't be bringing up Michael Jackson anymore.
No, I thought it was pretty intense and engrossing. You know, it was like a different kind of hostage thriller, and it had that unclear finish. You know, it was a little bit of a cliffhanger finish. It did not exactly explain what happened after the outcome, which was a little frustrating for me. So it took away a little bit. However, so like for example, my grades went C+, B-, B. All pretty much middle of the road for the most part. Now, the third one with the Miley Cyrus,
dude,
I thought was
me watching Black Mirror season 5 looked like George W. Bush's college transcripts, straight C's. Like it was just straight C's the whole way through. I didn't care. Like,
yeah, I see. The first episode was so highly like unbelievable for me.
Yeah,
like I could not believe that these. I don't want to spoil anything, but I couldn't believe the characters, especially one, would do the things that he was doing. It just didn't make any sense.
Anthony Mackie in the first episode.
I don't even want to get into it. I mean, it's one of those things where you just gotta watch it. You gotta just go in.
Hey,
for
bud,
it.
you want to play some Mortal Kombat after we record?
As long as it's not a VR.
I just realized that we're doing an audio medium, and I said that joke while I was winking at you, and I realized
we're staring into each other's eyes.
The listeners can't tell that I'm winking at you, but like,
man, just fucking kiss me, man.
Just fucking kiss me, bro. Dude, it's not gay. I'm a fucking lady, bro. Just put it in me.
Oh my god!
What I took away from that was that women have far more intense
tropes.
orgasms than men do, and he realized that in a video game. So that's why he wanted.
I believe that
he was chasing that.
I 100% believe that too. I really do, because it's all internal, and I guess it depends on the girl, but they're like I said, whatever.
Pitter patter.
Anyway, it was an underwhelming season. Everybody go check it out regardless still. I mean, if you want. If you're a fan, you're going to check it out regardless.
Hard pass.
It's Black Mirror.
Season 4. Stop there.
It's 3 episodes. Come on. Easy. Not that bad.
Hey, you can jerk off 8 times in 3 hours. Time better spent than watching Black Mirror Season 5.
Yeah, that might be right, actually. Dead Don't Die. Yeah, I had to see it.
Yeah,
I had to see it.
The name for this movie, Deadpan Don't Die, because it's all deadpan the whole way through.
It is. And I usually am a Jarmusch forgiver. I like a lot of his stuff. I love Dead Man. I love Coffee and Cigarettes. And
on with it.
Broken Flowers, and especially Only Lovers Left Alive. Underviewed. I think a lot of people need to check that out. Anyway,
on with it.
This one was extremely dull. It just never got on with it, and there was nothing original, and there was nothing very funny about it. It was
that was my review for it. You were super intrigued for the first 20 minutes, and then
when I walked out, I was like, Dave on his review completely nailed it.
Yeah,
and I have nothing more to add to it. To me, it was a straight C. I mean, it was nothing to.
What do you think about that twist at the end with Tilda Swinton? How'd you feel about that?
I think it's just like they're making fun of her as a person. Like how everybody used to think that like she was an alien because she looks weird.
I think at that point they were just
like a funny thing.
I think at that point they just wanted to throw as much fucked up things that they could at you. And by fucked up, I mean like how crazy can we get with it just to see how far you've taken this ride?
Because
I almost felt
the
like
whole character doesn't make any sense.
I almost felt like they were having a laugh at me for staying there and watching it to the end. Where like Jarmusch is like, I can't believe you watched that whole movie
because it's a genre movie. Like, ha, I got you here to watch a fucking genre zombie movie.
Yeah.
Now you have to endure
this.
All this nonsense.
Deal with it. Yeah.
And that's literally it's an hour 45 minutes
of deadpan.
My God, it felt like 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Get on with it. What else you got?
Brutal. All right, so Murder Mystery, the Adam Sandler Jennifer Aniston film. this is classic clickbait star power
I know.
that Netflix did.
I love,
and it's probably the best Sandler film that he produced with Netflix.
Right. So like that's the thing. Like people are like,
and it's nothing that great.
People
but
are like,
it's not that bad.
Really
It's
good.
not
You
that
should check
bad.
it out. And then I'm like, is it really good, or
It's
is
not
it
worth checking out though,
or is it
not overly,
or is it Sandler good? You know what I mean? Like it's Sandler hasn't
Sandler good.
He hasn't had a movie in years that was good, and everyone's
Yeah.
like, no, you should really check this one out. And it's like, I really don't want to because I know it's bad.
It's lackluster.
It's
still
just
still kind of lackluster. It's a rom-com mystery thriller, you know, and honestly,
Oh, you mean Game Night
well, this is far from game night. And
or Date Night with Steve Carell and Tina Fey?
oh, date night. Oh wow, yeah. Huh. Yeah.
Anyway,
It's it's slick. It's kind of predictable, but it's still very shallow, man. And it does tease a sequel. I hope we do not get.
does he talk like Adam Sandler all in it? Does he do that?
No. No, he doesn't do that. But he did keep his mustache from that previous role that he did.
I don't know, man. Act like you don't have the internet at your fucking fingertips. You're holding a personal computer in your fucking hand. You can look up anything you want at any time, and instead you sit there humming and hawing. What was that thing he was in?
The Meyerowitz story is new and selected. The one that Noah Baumbach directed. So, he's still cashing in on Netflix. I guess he's still trying to do some kind of quality filmmaking every once in a while. So he thinks the mustache is going to work for him.
Remember when I told you that the theme of today's show was brevity?
Yeah.
Get on with it.
I'm it. Done.
right.
Out. Boom.
So I started Jessica Jones season 3, and I was watching it, and while watching it, I was like, man, this is so much better than season 2. I'm really enjoying it. I'm enjoying it more than season 2. However, I am over the Marvel Netflix shows. Like, it's like as soon as they were like, yeah, we're not supporting these anymore, they're going to go away, I immediately lost interest in Jessica Jones season 3, and I just don't care about it. Like, even while watching it, I just don't care about it. The character can fade away into obscure. I didn't finish it. I'll be honest.
I don't care either.
I hear a lot of people are telling me that it ends extremely strong. However, I didn't get to the end. I ended up finding something else. I've been watching the Crave TV original series that has been picked up by Hulu. It's called Letterkenny, and it's absolutely hilarious.
Wow. Talk about fresh, original.
Yeah. I've had
comedy.
a few people tell me, like, it's really funny, you should check it out. And I was like, you know what? I don't know. And then, like, I literally had nothing else to watch. So I popped that on, and I watched it, and oh boy, was I cracking up from the first minute. The first cold open was hilarious. And it just hooked me in, and I got Lauren to start watching it, and it is hilarity in the mundane, but it's such snappy, quippy comedy that, like, and it works because it's coming out of these
characters,
these
the timing. Yeah. And just
it's so well done.
It's so good.
It's so well done on such like a shoestring budget and stuff like that. And that's part of its charm. It's just oozing with charm, with these good old boys with quick quips.
Hit Canada accents.
Oh my God. And it's really, I encourage anybody who has Hulu to check out Letterkenny, because it is absolutely worth your time. I guarantee you'll be hooked after the first episode.
Yeah.
And it started
You're going to be thanking us, trust me.
It started out as like this little YouTube thing called Letterkenny Problems, and it's like about these people in a small town. They talk about like their mundane problems, and so every episode starts off with the main character Wayne just being like, so you're having catch with your friends the other day, and then it goes into like this thing where he's talking with his friends and stuff like that, and then something fucked up is said and stuff, or they go on this long tangent about something, and then they beat the subject to death in hilarious ways, and then he comes back, he goes, so that happened, and then the show starts, and they get into like the story for the rest of the show, and the characters are all colorful and lovable, and I can't encourage everyone enough to check out this R-rated comedy show from Canada. And then the other thing that I was watching other than that was I watched Vice, also just started streaming on Hulu. This is the Adam McKay directed film with Christian Bale putting on a shit ton of weight to play Dick Cheney, and I gotta say, he is fantastic as Dick Cheney. Even more so, I thought Amy Adams was fantastic as Lynn Cheney. Like, those two were dynamic as fuck in this movie. Everything else around this movie, it's fucking boring. It really just doesn't have as sharp a plot as like The Big Short did. You know, The Big Short had a message and it had a movement to it where it played like almost like a song, like it had beats to it, and it felt very, very rhythmic, very flowy, and it drove home its message very well. I think this one, at times, it was very blunt and bludgeoning, I'll say, with its message, but it also at other times it wasn't so clear. I felt like the plot was,
and it was almost self-aware of that too, because
it was extremely self-aware of it. Yeah.
It was really disappointing for me. I remember watching it, and I just kept on thinking, like, this is not working. It's just not working. They're trying to do the formula like the previous film, and it
like,
just didn't.
The Big
quite
Short was
work.
informative. This was so far left that it made you just be like,
Yeah, and obviously they even make point of it. There's so many serious situations that they are trying to insinuate, but they backtrack and say, like, so we don't know exactly what happened here, so we're gonna just pretend something or whatever, or do some kind
there's
of
a moment
weird
where
song overlapping a supposed fight or a supposed mastermind plan behind closed doors.
There was
something.
There was him and Lynn laying in bed talking about the vice presidency, about whether he would take it, and they were like, "We don't know what was said here." So for all we know, they could have been reciting Shakespeare, and then they start reciting Shakespeare while they're laying in bed discussing this thing, and I'm just like, yeah, it doesn't work.
It's weird.
Yeah, it just doesn't work. Like I said, it wasn't as punchy, and it didn't flow as well as The Big Short. I did love The Big Short because it was extremely informative, and it took a serious subject and didn't take it seriously at the same time. However, when the message got brought home, when that movie ended, you felt something, and you realized that they were taking the message seriously the entire time. The joke was that everybody else in the world didn't take this problem seriously, but these characters did. And like, that was part of the comedy of it, was that no one took it seriously, but the characters did. And then, but when you got to this, it felt like everyone who was playing these characters was in on the joke and almost like kind of winking at the camera at times, even though they don't, but they did.
I mean, but they did a great job trying to portray the characters as well as they could. I mean, they tried to take it serious. At least the actors, I thought.
Oh, dude, I thought Christian Bale was fantastic as Cheney.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, the little ticks and mannerisms, the speaking out of the side of his mouth, the breathing, like all kinds of nuances that were pretty spot on.
But this is like one of those movies that, like, when Oscar Beatty time was around and stuff, I was very remiss that I didn't see this one. Now that I got to see it, I was like, oh, thank God I saved $20.
I was shocked that it got as much recognition that it did, because for the film, because I didn't think it was warranted at all. Like, I get the whole Bale thing.
Oh, you get the actors thing,
yeah, sure.
Even Sam Rockwell was great. I thought Sam...
but he didn't deserve a nomination, I think.
Even though
it was too small. He was great, but it was way too small.
Yeah.
It was too much of you're playing Bush. It was not of any merit.
You're not just playing Bush, man. You're playing W. You're playing W.
With chicken wings.
We're going to get them Saddam Hussein. We're going to get him.
You want to be my vice?
Now watch me sink this putt. Vice was it was okay. Whatever. And then the other thing I watched, Jay, was we've been talking about Rocket Man recently, because it's kind of like it's a very barren wasteland out there in movie land right now. I'm actually pissed that I didn't see Late Night this week, because apparently Late Night was the hit to see this week, not Men in Black International, which
nobody's been seeing that. And then guess what? All the blockbusters, there's been headlines all over the place that the blockbuster season has been so underwhelming this year, which is true.
2016 was the same way.
However, I think from this point going forward, I think we have a brighter future.
I hope so, because we're going to do a trailer park for two movies that are coming out later on this year that I think are very bright. One of them is Dr. Sleep, and the other one is Frozen 2, which I know you're super excited to talk about. But yeah, I did watch Eddie the Eagle, man, and
fuck you. I God damn it! I promise you.
You watched a
by
little
this
bit of
time
it.
next week I will definitely.
You
watch
watched a little bit of it. I gotta say, man, Hugh
I know,
Jackman,
but I want to watch it. The
Hugh
whole thing.
Jackman's character,
Yeah.
absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
He's great in everything. Fuck,
I know.
Hugh
I love
Jackman's
him.
just so fucking good in everything. Yeah.
He's kind of my movie star. Like if I want
Right.
to be a movie star, I feel like I want to be him.
Can we just agree that he's the greatest export that Australia's ever created?
I think so.
Yeah, I think we'll agree on that.
I think so.
And
they produced a lot of good stuff.
Taron Egerton is just. It's so weird, like, because you watched Kingsman, and that's
surprising you, right?
You watch Kingsman, and
He's a legit actor.
He's eggsy, and he does really good at the Cockney accent. And he does really well at acting like the street tough boy and stuff like that. But then you watch him in everything else, and it just feels weird because that's the way you, as general audience,
we were introduced
to him.
Yeah.
And to see him just embody somebody that is so totally different than how you've expect, like he's really good. He's a great actor. And
Yeah, he's the real deal.
Yeah.
and it's kind of exciting to see that.
Yeah.
because
it was nice to go back and watch that and be like, oh no, even though I'm talking about how great he was in Rocket Man, he's always been good.
Yeah.
Like he's always been good. It's just he's now getting the roles that are getting him the recognition.
Right.
That
and the cool
that's
thing
worth
is
it.
too that he actually wants to be pursuing them as well.
Good for him.
You know, he wants the quality roles, which is great. Which is
So, why he's not doing another Kingsman.
Exactly. That's true. And you know, he doesn't need to. And he's at that certain age now where he can do a lot of flexible type roles. And I'm excited to see what he does going forward.
All right, Jay. In something we've probably never done in the history of the show, let's go get into our beers now, and then we'll come back
Oh, I'm not complaining. Let's go.
for our trailer park and then our 5-minute-ish reviews. Welcome back to the beer segment. Me and Jay got 2 beers that we're going to be reviewing for you. But before we do that, got to drop a line to our sponsor, Blowfish. Blowfish is the only FDA-approved hangover cure. What it is? 2 tablets that you drop into 8 to 12 ounces of water. You drink that down and your hangover starts to feel better in minutes. So if you had a Father's Day where your daughter just said one of the most hurtful things you've ever heard her said, you got so depressed that you just drank yourself into a stupor while playing the Xbox, then you're going to want to reach Monday morning for some Blowfish. So if you would like to get your very own miracle hangover cure, head over to 4hangovers.com and use the promo code SMBFISH. Get your 15% off. Super Movie Brothers is also brought to you by the Podcoin app. The Podcoin app is a podcast streaming app that allows you to earn points while you listen to podcasts. While you listen to the podcast, you're earning those points, and those points can get you things like gift cards to some of your favorite places. Make sure that you download the Podcoin app on iOS and Android, and you can listen to Super Movie Bros on there and earn a little something for all your hardcore podcast listening. All right, me and Jay got 2 beers that we're going to be reviewing for you. Jay, what beer do you have for everyone tonight?
Well, I have myself Harpoon's The Craig Irish Red IPA. It's hoppy, malty, vibrant.
You say the Craig like it's like the Craig.
Well, it's
right.
got. I like the way it's kind of
but
it's spelled out.
But what I hear is
a little crazy. A little
what
Craig.
I hear, because it has like such a just a mundane name. It's like I have the Craig.
Actually, the more I look at it, it might be Craig.
It could be Craig. Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not sure. Either way, I think you get the gist.
Yeah. I thought you were talking about Craig. Craig Christ.
Craig.
Did you hear that Stephen Lynch song? Craig Christ. Jesus was our mother's faith.
I was going with like the bro.
She gave. There's no sibling rivalry when he's nailed to that tree. Now my question for you is not what would Jesus do, but where will you be when the Craig machine comes partying through?
Never heard of it.
I suggest everyone give Stephen Lynch a listen. It's really funny.
Right.
Back in 2004, he was hilarious. Anyway, Jay.
Yes, this one is 6.9 alcohol by volume, 55 IBUs, and I love this beer. This has a perfect marriage of the hops, but also with that kind of that normal like lagery kind of malty flavor to it that reminds me of a little bit like Yingling, and it just has a nice little smell. It just has everything going for it for me. As an everyday beer, this is like perfect. I think, for me. So I'm going to give it a 4.5 actually out of 5. So
all right, man.
This was a surprise. This was a surprise for me.
So I have the Flying Dog Tropical Bitch. It's a Belgian IPA that is brewed with guava, pineapple, and tangerine. It's 8% alcohol by volume. And man, it's not bad up front, but
I took a sip.
that guava packs absolutely huge tropical punch, and it's a little bit too bitter on the back end, and it really, that guava flavor really hits you up front, and then the bitterness really lingers for a while.
Yeah, it's like honey where it just doesn't leave your mouth, and then all of a sudden you get that 8%er of the alcohol burn at the very end.
I
it's
imagine
very bitter.
like this tastes exactly like picking a hibiscus and eating it just raw, like would taste like it's just it's very fruity, it's very flowery, and that's the thing, man. It like I prefer my IPAs to be a little like fruity, you know, a little hay. This one is very fruity, so it's kind of like, hey. It's just
it's kind of disappointing because we like Flying Dog a lot, especially you. And,
I do, yeah. And I do,
and
like
we haven't had their beers in a while, so I definitely wanted to pick this up because I knew this was a newbie.
And I do like the regular. Well, they had this out last year too.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah, it's a summer brew for them.
seasonal. Okay.
But I like
you like the Raging Bitch.
I like the Raging Bitch.
And
It's not one of my
spin-off from one of
It's
them.
not one of my favorite IPAs, but I do really enjoy the Raging Bitch. Really, the only thing they're adding extra into this is the pineapple and the guava. They normally have a little bit of citrus in their other recipe for Raging Bitch. It's just too much, man. Like I don't know what it is. It's just that fruity. It's way too fruity up front, way too bitter on the back end. No balance.
There's no marriage.
Absolutely.
It didn't join too well together.
No. So I mean, but it's not absolutely terrible. It's not like it's like a 3. It's meh. I'm not going to kick it out of bed for eating crackers.
I probably need a couple more sips of it, but like I at first sip, I would probably give it a 2.25.
Yeah, like it's a one night stand beer. You're only going to have it once. You're never going to call it again.
It's going to be a little wild. It's going to be a little different. It's going to spread your your wings a little bit, maybe perhaps, but otherwise you don't want to revisit something like that.
Absolutely not.
No.
All right, so coming up next, 5-minute-ish review for a film that came out this week, Men in Black. Let's do a brief 5-minute-ish review for a film that came out this week. This week we're going to be talking about Men in Black.
Oh, that's not a little indie ditty.
International. So, Men in Black International is about new agent M, who after an alien encounter as a young girl seeks out the Men in Black, finds them, forces her own recruitment, and then gets assigned to the London office to shadow Agent H, who is the Men in Black International's top agent, and there they must stop the hive from taking over the world and all life on it. And man,
well, obviously, so they're banking on the chemistry, dual acting
and
by Tessa Thompson and Chris Hemsworth,
and it's there,
and that's it.
Tessa
Probably,
Thompson.
right?
Tessa Thompson's great. Chris Hemsworth is a bit of a ham. I'm going to be honest. It reminded me a lot of Ghostbusters.
But isn't that the role he's playing anyway? Like,
I feel like
in the trailer, that's what it kind of marketed it as. Like he's just like this hot shot. Like he does whatever. Like he's just nobody kind of comes close to him. He just does his thing.
Yeah. So like, here's the thing.
Or is it just too much?
I'm watching the movie. While I understood the plot and I got it and stuff like that, I was just like, God damn, what the fuck is going on? There's like this whole middle section of the movie where I'm just like, I know what they're doing, but I don't remember why they're here. It's like they're giving me plot points and I'm immediately forgetting them because I didn't care about them. I didn't care about the plot device that brought them to this point.
Yeah.
And there's something that was really grating to me. Like it was this like half-cocked attempt at political correctness, right? Tessa Thompson's talking to Emma Thompson, and she's making mention that it's like the Men in Black, right? And she's like, but there's women here, so like, shouldn't it be the people in black? And she's just like, well, I ran that up to the people upstairs, and it gets shut down. Don't think about it too hard. Blah blah blah. And it reminded me a lot of a movie I watched last week, which was Dark Phoenix, where Mystique brings up to Charles Xavier that the women are the ones always saving the men on the team. So why are they called the X-Men?
Oh, they said that in the movie too. Oh.
Yeah, and I was just like,
this is all response from the whole Me Too movement,
but that's
and stuff like that. And
right, and that's okay because we should respond to the Me Too movement, but we shouldn't do it in these ham-fisted ways,
exactly,
where like we wink at the audience. We're like, we know you want equality, so we're going to give it to you while not giving it to you. Is what it comes down to. Yeah. Where we're just don't think about it too hard. Don't get your panties in a twist over it. We're addressing it. It's like, but you're not addressing it. You're addressing it in this way where like you're trying to cheekily.
You're making it worse by.
Right, because you're
bringing it up like that.
You're winking and nodding it to us.
Nobody's thinking that way when
nobody.
It's already a franchise. That's the name of the franchise. It is what it is.
It's the name. It's
just come on.
So that like that immediately like was a little bit grating to me, and that happens pretty early on in the movie. And then there's another moment in the movie where something completely serendipitous and ex machina occurs where Tessa Thompson's character and Chris Hemsworth's character are both saved by immediate recognition of something that had happened earlier on in the movie. And I was like, well, that's awfully fortuitous, isn't it? That like this thing that happened in the beginning of the movie where Tessa Thompson was a little girl in her bedroom happens to come back up right at this moment, at this dire moment where they need an ex machina the most. Ex machina is given, my friend. There it is. Deus Ex. And that really bothered me. But also what bothered me was, while I love Tessa Thompson in this movie, and I love her as an actress, I think she did a fantastic job in this movie, doing what she could do with this script as cheeky as it was. Her character is full on a Mary Sue. I'm sorry. She has an answer for everything, and she can do anything that the script calls her to do, is what it comes down to. She plays a very smart, headstrong woman. That's not a problem. She has great problem solving skills and great deductive skills and investigation skills. That's not a problem. There's a moment where alien technology breaks down, however, and somehow she's able to fix it. Now, she's a character who knows that aliens existed, seeks out the Men in Black, joins the Men in Black, goes through 1 day of training, and then immediately knows how to fix alien technology.
Right.
Where it's like that.
That should have been Chris Hemsworth.
Right. So he was helping her fix it and stuff like that, but she's the one that's like, got it, hits the button and it fires back up. And it's like, do you know that after 1 day of training? Do you know how to fix that vehicle the first time you've ever seen it? Like,
how was the visuals though? Like I wasn't sure if there was a lot of CGI in this one or not.
No. The visuals are fine. Everything,
they try to do a lot of practical, like alien stuff.
Everything looks fine. It's just like, these aliens. Like sometimes I feel like in Men in Black, they're just like, "Ooh, this would be weird, wouldn't it? What if someone like looked like this?" You know what I mean? Like, where a lot of the aliens are like a gag. Like they're just like it's a gag. Like the woman has a third arm, so she uses it to punch you. That's what she is. She looks completely human, but she has a third arm. And it's like sometimes like the aliens just they're just kind of there. And but that's been part of the course for the series. So I'm not really knocking it for that. What I'm knocking it for really in the end is Men in Black 1, right? We're being introduced to this world. We're being reintroduced to the world here, and that's fine through a new character's eyes. But Men in Black 1, while having laughs at the subject matter, the characters never took the subject matter as a joke, right? the characters weren't hamming it up. The characters were the characters. They existed in the story. Tommy Lee Jones,
Exactly.
Right. He wasn't playing it for laughs, right? The funny thing about it was crazy shit is going on around them. Funny stuff's going on around them, and they are acting like it's serious. However, Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson are acting like they're in a comedy movie.
Right.
And that's the difference.
I can see that because
They're not taking
of the trailer, but
right. It's like they're not taking themselves seriously. It's like they're in on their own joke and they're laughing at it. They're doing a Jimmy Fallon.
yeah.
Or a day, or a Super Movie Brother Day.
that's-
Where do you laugh at your own joke?
Well, no, I think it's exactly what the audience is keeping away from this movie because I think they're not going to the theaters to see this. This is only like a $25 million opening weekend or something like that.
You know what?
Which is not horrible, but it's certainly not good because normally this franchise would open like 75 million.
Also, what it's lacking is the heart. Men in Black 1
And the purpose too, probably, right?
Men in Black 1, there's that almost like mentor-mentee relationship, and you can go as far as say like father-son relationship between Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith, and it worked really well. And there's some great emotional moments there,
Especially in 3.
right? In small doses, there's great, and then Men in Black 2 did exactly what Men in Black International did.
Exactly.
It took itself as a joke. It didn't take itself seriously enough. It wasn't in on its own joke.
And they learned from that experience and made a good 3.
with some,
and now they're trying to rebrand
with
it
some
in
great
a-
comedy
just in-
moments, but also some really heartfelt moments.
Yep.
Every moment where they tried to insert a little bit of emotion in Men in Black International felt disingenuous, or it felt like a purposeful mirror image of something that they had done before between Liam
or
Neeson's
it felt
character.
very scripted, maybe. Or,
Right, between Liam Neeson's character of High T and Chris Hemsworth's character of H. They tried to give them a very J and K relationship, but they did so little of it. They developed it so poorly that when you get to the end and there's a moment where H tries to, talk to High T in like this way that's supposed to resonate emotion and stuff like that, you're almost like, meh. Because you didn't feel that relationship. You didn't feel it the whole time. It is a very spastic movie in that it really just takes you from one plot device, moves you to the next one, and that's it just happens in such a pace, in such a way, through gags and stuff. It's throwing too much at you at once. It's not letting you appreciate the world that they're trying to build for you at all. It's just throwing it all at you so hard.
Is it setting up for a sequel?
There's possibility of one.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to get one now. I think you're more likely to get the 21 Jump Street Men in Black mix-up after this.
Oh.
But it's definitely a property that they want to keep profitable, right? I mean, Universal Studios...
you still have fresh, hot stars that
Right.
are probably contracted for a couple more films in this franchise.
Maybe. Or you just bring in new stars and you do it over again. And I don't
think
mean
that's
reboot.
necessary.
But
I think you can improve on what they have going on here.
But it is a world where you can bring people like Will Smith back, or and mix up with what worked in this movie
at a cost.
Right, at a cost. This is like one of their properties that they would like to be bankable. They have a big ride.
I get it.
They have a big ride for it down at Universal Studios and stuff like that. It's something that should appeal to kids. I don't know if this appealed to kids at all. Like while watching it, I didn't feel like kids would go along with this movie, but then again, I'm watching it as someone who watched the original from 1997 and loved it and stuff. And so I'm watching it with
and
like
kids
those,
now, I don't think really know the franchise that well.
So I'm watching this with nostalgia goggles on.
Right.
And I think those nostalgia goggles are what a lot of people are going to see this have on, and they may not be enjoying it at all. And
this could be a big mishandling for this franchise.
I think it was. I think this was
honest.
your chance to take it into a new direction, and instead they
just mishandled it. They didn't do it quite right the way they needed to do it in this era, in this generation.
You got
to
the right.
also
You got the
bring
right people
us in, but also bring in the newbies for this new generation.
You got the right people involved. Like you.
Oh yeah,
you got stars
I think
that
it was
were
the
hot.
right casting.
They're at the top of their game.
Sure.
I think they all did fine jobs at what they were doing, but it was just too.
Okay.
It was too cheeky. It tried to be
give us your
too
grade.
much. It's a D+.
Oh, goddamn.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it was going to be that low.
Yeah, it's pretty low, dude.
All right. Wow. You just recently gave a D+.
Yeah, I had very little enjoyment with this movie. I'll be honest with you while watching it. I had like very few moments where I was like, I really enjoyed that. Like most of them come from Tessa Thompson and Kumail Nanjiani, who plays her little helper who she finds along the way, her little alien helper. I enjoyed him. But I think it's just because I really like Kumail Nanjiani's voice. Like, it's just, when he talks, I'm just like, you're so funny.
Yeah.
You're so funny. I love you. You're so funny.
Yeah, that's pretty disappointing. Okay.
All right, Jay, let's get into our trailer parks and let's get this show done and over with.
Bring the drums in.
Cut the beat and let the music play. No trailer park, shout out to Dave and Jay. I don't serve, but it's a newer wave. We've been on since trust God save the right style. I don't want to flow until I know that the bass drop.
Let's get into our trailer park. Me and Jay actually have 3 trailers that we're going to be discussing with you this week. We're going to do a trailer for Frozen 2, and then we got a trailer for Ad Astra, which is a film that it looks intriguing. Original IP, which is kind of intriguing to me. Brad Pitt
vehicle.
Yeah, absolutely. Plan B production, all that stuff. And then we have the trailer breakdown for Dr. Sleep. But let's get things kicked off. Let's get started with the Frozen 2 trailer.
Elsa, the past is not what it seems. You must find the truth. Go north, across the enchanted lands, and into the unknown. Be careful. We have always feared Elsa's powers were too much for this world. Now we must hope they are enough.
I won't let anything happen to her.
All right, Jay's going to be sitting this trailer park out, probably.
Yeah.
All right, so the Frozen 2 trailer. This is the second trailer. Well, first one was a teaser. This is the second full trailer. And while watching this, I started having some realizations. So it starts off with very much like the teaser trailer did. Elsa on the beach, tying her hair back. She's like testing out her ice powers. It's like she's seeing how far she can go across the ocean. She tries to throw an ice blast, go up over a wave, and then it crashes down on top of her. While she's underwater, though, she runs into a water horse, like a creation that was created out of the water. And then we get this saying from the trolls that they have to travel to the enchanted lands. They have to go north through the enchanted lands. And we see some stuff in here.
First of all, it's all very dark.
This trailer was dark.
Yeah.
This is the adult trailer. The teaser trailer was much more to hook the kids in.
True.
Because they even showed a new character in the teaser trailer that we don't get to see here. But in the teaser trailer and in this trailer, we see that water horse. We see someone creating like pictures using wind and light and stuff like that. And then we see someone lifting, I believe it's Anna, up in the air using wind. And we see a giant rock monster at the end. And there's a moment where when they talk about them going into the enchanted lands, that they have to hope that Elsa's powers are enough to either protect them or stop what's coming. When they're going off into the fog, there's 4 pillars there, and Elsa's walking between them. And looking at all this stuff, I couldn't help but think that we're obviously going to be meeting people with other powers, right? Like we're seeing water powers, we're seeing wind, we're seeing earth, we're seeing fire.
Yeah.
And it got me thinking, like, what if Anna had a power herself? What if her power is hearts?
What could it
Jay,
be?
what does that sound like?
Wind, water, heart, go planet!
By your powers combined, I am Captain Planet!
Captain Planet, he's a hero, gonna take pollution down to 0. While watching this trailer, that's exactly what I was thinking about. But I do think that this story is going to bring Elsa and Anna and the whole crew in contact with other people who have powers that are similar to Elsa's. She has ice, someone has water, someone has wind, someone has fire, someone has
That's exactly
earth.
what it seemed like, yeah.
And the enchanted land is where they're all coming from.
Yeah.
Or there's some dark presence coming from the enchanted land. But I wonder, having them face an adversary like that from the outside, is that going to resonate the same amount of heart that the original Frozen did? Because the big thing about the original Frozen was, originally Elsa was supposed to be a bad guy, and Anna was going to take her down and stuff like that. They changed it before they started production on the film to they were sisters, and it was going to be a story about love, about sisterhood,
yeah,
and stuff like that. And I think that gave it of extremely strong, and that's extremely strong presence in the animated world, because you have two main characters who are women, and it's not about the prince or about like fighting a bad guy. Really, there's a bad guy in it, but he's no threat.
Two women, young women trying to find their way throughout the world and find their place.
When Anna
figure things out,
sacrifices herself for her sister, that's the act of true love that thaws her frozen heart. And what, it wasn't the love of a man, which they keep teasing that it's the love of a man and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, it's a little ham-fisted and stuff, but it's also for kids and stuff. So I wonder, like, having this where it looks like they're going to go up against actual adversaries, does that rob it of what it was prior? I wonder. And like, don't get me wrong, I'm extremely excited for it. My daughter's excited for it. I put the trailer on the other night while everyone was here for our Father's Day cookout and stuff like that. My niece Sophia heard the bump, 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 which is like the way the music starts in the beginning, and she goes, "It's Frozen!" And she runs out into the living room and she starts watching it, and like intently. And we ended up watching like Frozen footage, like from Frozen 1 and Frozen 2 trailers and stuff for a good bit, because the girls were really into it. So it still resonates with them.
Yeah, they're excited.
They're excited. So that gets me excited. The fact that the kids are still excited for it gets me excited. But I just wonder, like, having this, is it going to change things?
If this is a good film, this property is not going away anytime soon.
Jay, this film comes out like a couple weeks before me and Lauren and Logan go to Disney World. So and it's Christmas time when we're there.
Boy.
So when it's Christmas time, Elsa always the Elsa character always throws ice up towards the castle to light it up, and the castle's covered in ice after that. So my daughter's going to get frozen the entire time that we're there, because it's going to be all over the place.
There's probably going to be a lot of stuff around.
So much.
The park, yeah.
So much. Yeah. I'll probably be sick of it by the time I get back. But I am intrigued by this. I am excited by this. My love for animation.
It looks interesting. I mean, for an anime film, I remember seeing the old trailers and I saw bits and pieces of things, but like this, it looked like they're going a different route.
Frozen's,
a lot more interesting, a lot more darker, a little bit more ensemble based.
Frozen is like this apex of the Disney Renaissance, right? Okay. Like, we know that like in the late 90s and early 2000s, Disney went through like this period where things weren't great. Then Pixar was really the only one that was producing things that was making a lot of money and stuff.
Yep.
And then this like Renaissance happened. Like Frozen was like the peak of that, and Moana. Like, I like Moana more than Frozen, but those are like the apex, so like the peak of it, and we're still there. We're still at the Disney peak right now, but that was the start of it.
Yeah, they're still there.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how this goes, because this is like one of the few times Disney has made a direct sequel to one of their animated films that wasn't a Pixar film that's going to the theaters, right? Because remember Aladdin? What was the sequel called, Jay? Do you even know? Return of Jafar. It went straight to DVD. Aladdin, the King of Thieves. That was the third one. Went straight to DVD. Little Mermaid 2. DVD. Jungle Book 2. DVD. Lion King 2. Lion King 1.5. All like direct. That's the way they've done their sequels in the past. Even Toy Story 2 was supposed to be a direct-to-DVD release until they realized that they may have something that was theater worthy. So it's strange to see them taking one of their properties like this and taking it to a sequel. But Frozen was so big, how could they not cash that check again? All right, Jay, let's get into our next trailer, which is Ad Astra.
I do what I do because of my dad. He was a hero. He gave his life for the pursuit of knowledge.
Control, you getting that over?
It's crazy out there. There's fires everywhere and plane crashes. They're calling it the Surge.
Major, we have some highly classified information.
What can you tell us about the Lima project?
Its objective was to search for advanced extraterrestrial life. The ship disappeared approximately 16 years into the mission.
And the commander was?
He was my father, sir.
This might come as quite a shock to you. Your father was experimenting with a highly classified material that could threaten our entire solar system. All life would be destroyed. We're counting on you to find out what's happening out there.
I remain fully committed to the lawful completion of the mission. If necessary, I will destroy the project in its entirety. The Earth put its hopes in him. And now, its fate is on me.
We have a job to do. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, man. With this trailer, I am getting a vibe of like Interstellar with more action.
Well, the cinematographer did Interstellar. He is Hoyt van Hoytema, that's done a lot of Christopher Nolan films and other things, and this is a beautiful looking movie. Beautiful. This is up my radar now, like way up. As far as like the movies I really want to see soon, later on this summer. I think it comes out in September. It is written and directed by James Gray. You know,
you may remember this director.
Intriguing, man.
Because you watched The Lost City of Z, right?
Yes.
And you somewhat enjoyed that, right?
Somewhat. Yeah.
He also did a movie that I enjoyed. I know I don't want to say it didn't age well, but people didn't like it as much as I did. But We Own the Night. He also was the director of that, which I enjoyed that film.
I did too.
Quite a bit.
I did too.
Mostly for its visuals and its cinematography and stuff like that, more so than the acting or the story or anything. But so Ad Astra, this story where Brad Pitt is clearly going off into the cosmos to find out what happened to his father's mission and to stop whatever this material is that's coming to
and the original mission was to try and find advanced AI.
All right, you ready for my theory on this movie? We see Tommy Lee Jones in several pictures.
Or not AI, E.T.
Right. We see Tommy Lee Jones age regressed in several pictures in this. We see him looking younger in a lot of...
Some bearded, some haggard, some younger.
But we see him looking younger in a lot of like the images that they're showing of him in this trailer. They're obviously going to show him as an old man, and Brad Pitt's going to find him. Obviously, that's where this movie.
They might be pretty blunt about that. Like, there might be black hole transfer travels or whatever.
Right.
Like I don't know. There's a fucking moon like battle or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It looks fucking awesome.
Says I'm going to destroy the mission, and then he blows up like this rover,
cool,
with other astronauts on it. Or at least they make it look like that's what he was doing.
I did not expect this to look as good as it. This was slightly on my radar for a little while. I think it was delayed. And it was originally supposed to come out in May.
Okay.
And they pushed it back till end of September. So I don't know the reasoning, but whatever.
I wonder if because
it looks really nice,
May had some blockbusters in it that they wanted to get out of the way of, possibly.
Perhaps. This is distributed by Disney. I mean, it's got a lot of funders, but it's a very low, there's no Disney flag being waved like crazy with this movie because it's a little bit more mature for them.
Okay. Was it under a Fox banner at some point?
It was.
Yeah, there
exactly.
you go.
That's what it was.
Hence the pushback.
I was just going to bring that up. I think that's a big part of why there was such a long delay is because of the merger. Because this was a 20th Century Fox movie.
Yep.
And now it's Disney. So
okay.
maybe they're going to try and do a awards baity film for them for Disney. Who knows? I don't know what they're trying to do with this, but they're delaying it.
I honestly think they're trying to tell an intriguing sci-fi story.
Yeah.
And I mean, don't get me wrong. There's definitely going to be some sort of I'm getting a feeling like conservation, global
it
warming
certainly
type
doesn't look
message
to be
behind it.
boring. You know, I think it's going to be one of those things where it's going to be highly engaging. And I'm excited about that.
I am. I'm mostly excited for these visuals and how it looks. I'm pretty much excited for this story because you know me. I like sci-fi stories. And I like sci-fi stories with intrigue to them. And this seems like it has a pretty intriguing sci-fi story, but also because it's involving the possibility of aliens and stuff like that, I expect that this might take a hard turn like Interstellar did. Like the way Interstellar ends,
yeah,
it fits the story that they're telling. Don't get me wrong. I don't think it's unfitting or anything like that. Well, it's just such a logical leap from what we were doing previous in the movie that like it's like I was not thinking we were going this high concept sci-fi, and I think that this may go that route too. I'm not saying that's a bad thing.
I think they teased the possibility of that.
Yeah, with the possibility.
And if this movie hits, this is going to be definitely my top 5 of the year. Probably I could see that happening as of right now. But yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, so am I. So it's coming out September 20th, something that we will definitely probably check out and do a review for on the show.
Absolutely.
Goddamn, Brad Pitt is just an ageless fucking wonder, isn't he?
Oh,
like
beautiful thing.
He just like in those scenes with where he's
what a great year for him, man.
I know.
Once upon a time in Hollywood, and now this. Woo.
But like just those scenes where like he's like being tested and stuff like that, and they got that, and he's in the doctor's office. I was like, God, this motherfucker still has it. How the fuck does he still look that fucking good? Because there was a time where he was Fat Pitt, right?
Over 50,
right? But there was a time where he was like a couple years ago. He was like Fat Pitt, right?
Well, that was
and
when he was drinking.
Yeah, people were calling him like Fat Pitt and stuff like that because he wasn't the Brad Pitt there. He had a little bit of chub on him, and when I say a little bit of chub, he was maybe 10 pounds heavier than he is now. But like I see him here, and I'm like, fuck you, ageless fucking wonder, dude. What the fuck? You fountain of youth, you son of a bitch. Definitely looking forward to it. I also am extremely excited by the cast. Brad Pitt, not so much Liv Tyler. I'm hoping that she's...
I haven't seen her in a while.
Yeah, I'm hoping she's a little bit regulated. But, you know, we get Tommy Lee Jones and Donald Sutherland. 2 guys who we've seen in a space movie before.
Solid.
We've seen them in a space movie together before. Space Cowboys. One of my dad's favorite movies. I kid you not. Space Cowboys is one of my dad's favorite movies. I can't knock him for it because it's a lot of fun. It's not fantastic, but that movie is a ton of fun. All right, Jay, let's get into our final trailer for Trailer Park this week. We got the trailer for Dr. Sleep.
You're magic, like me.
I need you to listen to me. The world's a hungry place. A dark place.
Hi there.
I only met 2 or 3 people like us. They died. When I was a kid, I bumped into these things. I don't know about magic. I always called it The Shining.
Not sold on this trailer at first. I was not sold on it until that very end when they play that Shining theme. That
I think they're very much aware of what they need to do. And I think they understand that it is going to be a really challenging property to bring to screen.
So it was super challenging because this movie has to please a lot of people, right?
A lot of cooks in the kitchen.
Right. So
which could be bad.
So first things first, Mike Flanagan is bringing it to screen. He was the creator behind Haunting of Hill House. It was on Netflix. People loved that shit. I liked it. I thought it was a little bit melodramatic, but for the most part, I enjoyed it. So he has to, first off...
He's writing and directing this, so it's all on him.
So he first off has to please the king of horror himself, Stephen King, right? He has to please him first because Stephen King has a lot of creative control over a lot of these movies these days. He has a lot of say in what goes on in them.
And he openly said that he did take a lot of pointers from him, and also, asking permission as far as like what he thought that he can contribute with the original Shining movie that Stephen King himself did not like.
Right. Stephen King famously didn't like Kubrick's version of The Shining. So Kubrick's version of The Shining kind of, in some ways, it almost seemed like it purposely thumbed its nose at Stephen King, and there's some things in there he didn't like. If you want to know more about this, please check out the documentary Room 237. There's a lot of crazy crackpot theories in there about The Shining. Some of them sound really true, some of them don't, but it also delves into this weird, crazy mind that Stanley Kubrick had, that I think it's very possible that some of these theories about Stanley Kubrick are true.
I can see that.
But anyway, a lot of the stuff that went on in that movie, Stephen King was not happy with. So first off, Flanagan has to please an audience, right? Most general audiences' experience with The Shining is the Kubrick film. It's one of the classic horror movies. It's one of the classic horror movies that's ever been made. It's my favorite horror film.
But also a lot of, even if you haven't seen the movie, there's a lot of photos that have a big lasting impact on
the elevator opening up with blood. Right, like that's
the elevator. Jack Nicholson's face going through the door, the broken door. The kids. The hotel.
They have to play. So he has to play homage to the movie. He has to please Stephen King, who didn't like the movie, but he still has to please him as well. So he's getting pointers from him about what he can include from Kubrick's Shining and what he shouldn't include. He also has to obviously please the studio and the studio heads, and he has to please us, the audience,
and adapt this book.
Right, and adapt this book, which I'll be honest, I'm a Stephen King fan. I was not a fan of Dr. Sleep. I'm not a big fan of it. The Shining, I love. Dr. Sleep, not so much. The story of Dr. Sleep is Danny Torrance, now going by the name Dan, has had a little bit of a rough patch growing up. He started drowning out his shine, the shining ability that he had, with alcohol. He's now in AA, and his shining ability is coming back. He works at a hospice, and there is a cat there who knows which this is actually based on true things. There are cats in hospice situations that go lay with a person as they're dying. He has this ability to know when someone's dying, and he goes to them and stays with them through their death, and he kind of touches them with his shine a little bit. He starts getting in contact through his shining with a young girl named Abra Stone. Abra Stone's reaching out to him because they both have this same power, but she's being hunted by a group of individuals, a group of semi-immortals who feed off of children that have the shining. They take their mist, which is like this energy that they give off after they die through great torture. They breathe that in, and that gives them power and allows them
to live longer, I guess.
Right. So it's this.
It's all there. It's all set up. It's very much teased.
It's there in the trailers.
But I think the visuals aspect worked for me. Like, it didn't look too cheesy. I think it's perfectly set up for November. It's just after Chapter 2 comes out. I think it's set up perfectly for them to be successful for when it comes out and when it releases.
So for me, watching it, like watching this trailer, I'm immediately flashing to like the things from the book. Like, I didn't like the True Knot in the book. Like, I didn't really like Rose the Hat as a character in there. And Rose the Hat is being played in this movie by Rebecca Ferguson. And I wasn't crazy about the story where they took The Shining, where Steve and he famously hasn't done sequels to a lot of his books. It's one of the few sequels he's ever done. So it's kind of strange that now this book that was a New York Times bestseller, but everything Stephen King does is a New York Times bestseller, is now coming to the screen because I didn't like the story that much. So there's things that are really intriguing me. The way they're tying it into Kubrick's Shining really intrigues me. The way this trailer shows images from that movie and does what I think, just watching it, looks like a fantastic job of recreating some of that stuff. They show the parts where Danny...
And it is all recreation. Right. It's not original stuff being stolen into this movie. Yeah.
They show the stuff where Dan goes back to the Overlook Hotel and like he's looking through the living quarters they lived in and the doors bashed in and everything like that. So like I'm intrigued by like all of that
kind of stuff.
I'm intrigued by that, but also it's just like I didn't like this story. So like I'm wondering like what is Flanagan going to change about Stephen King's story that's going to make me like it more at this point, right? Like the character of...
He's got complete freedom.
Right. The character of Dan Torrance in the book is one of the few things I liked, which is why I read the whole thing, was like, I really liked Dan Torrance. I like where that character went. I like the realistic aspect of that character. And I think Ewan McGregor is a brilliant choice to play him. One of the things that like I was reading was like...
Well, I was intrigued to hear you say that because I personally love Ewan, but I don't know this book. I don't know this story very much.
You don't even know Stephen King all that well.
Well, a little bit, but it's just one of those things where I wasn't sure if he would be the right fit playing him. I'm intrigued.
I think he
is. You said that you like him. Okay.
When I look at the list of like other people who were like up for this role, John Cusack, not so much. He has been in a Stephen King movie before, 1408, with him and Samuel
which was
Jackson.
good. I like that one.
I like that one too. I just didn't see him as like a Dan Torrance, right? Like I just reading the book and thinking of the character, I didn't see him as
in your
that.
head, yeah.
And then Chris Evans was also like at one point up for this role, which I feel like he's far too young to have been Dan Torrance, right?
When he grows his beard out, he can age himself up a little bit.
Evans was born in like 82, I think. Like, you know, so Ewan McGregor is actually the right age. As he's almost the same age
was he like upper 40s?
Yeah, he's the same age that the actor who played Danny Torrance in the original Shining is now. So it's like it works age progression wise, and it works to fit into this world.
Yeah,
this is like one of those wait and see type things for me. Like, yeah, I'm excited for it because I like this Stephen King movie like renaissance that it has started. Like. Warner Brothers has known that they wanted to make this movie pretty much since Dr. Sleep came out and they got the rights to it. They've wanted to make this movie. It just took the complete juggernaut, star power, and that just the fandom that surrounded the movie It to come out.
It was a timing issue.
Exactly. For all this stuff to start coming together, now the funding is there.
Yeah.
Because it was successful. And now we're getting a bunch of modern takes on a lot of Stephen King's works. And I'm intrigued.
Just had it with Pet Sematary recently.
I'm intrigued to see. I wasn't crazy about Pet Sematary, but I'm intrigued to see where they take a lot of these stories. My butt's going to be in seat day one because I'm a big Stephen King fan. But my expectations are pretty tempered, like I said, because I wasn't a huge fan of the Dr. Sleep novel. So
I think I'm on board with you. I'm definitely going to see it opening weekend. I am a little trepidatious, but the same thing, this could go either way with me. I can be on board with it, or I could just completely be bored. I don't know.
That's what I'm also worried about. Like, I wasn't crazy about like the secret society of people who are like.
See, that doesn't bother me.
It bothers me. I don't know what it was about.
Maybe it didn't work in the book, but like, I don't mind secret society stuff sometimes.
Right.
And the fact that they don't shy away from it in the trailer means that like they got to be a little bit confident about what they're going to portray on screen.
Right.
And I love Rebecca, Ferguson. I think she's great, and she looked great as being one of the leaders of that cult group.
No, she is the leader. She's Rose the Hat.
Yeah. And
it's a big bad.
Yeah. So I'm on board, man. I'm cool. I'm ready, man.
We'll see.
I actually want to watch The Shining right now.
I was watching it like when you came in. When you came in tonight, I was watching The Shining.
I'm gonna have to try and check that out soon.
Have you watched the Room 237 though?
No.
Find that documentary. Watch it. So worth it.
I'll probably so I'll rewatch The Shining because I'm due, and I'll seek out that documentary, and I'll definitely be fresh a few months before this movie comes out. It'll be good.
It's extremely interesting, but also like crazy at the same time.
I'm cool with that, and this is the right kind of property. People have a lot of fun with it. It's a classic. It's very unique, and it is what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's that with a lot of Stephen King stuff, man, it's like you either go with it or you don't. But it's funny that like I'm sitting here saying like I didn't like all like the secret society type stuff, but then I love a movie where there is an interdimensional being that it takes the form of a clown and feeds off the fear of children, right?
Yeah.
Like where it's like I like that, but I don't like this, right? It's almost like it feels like it's either too grounded and not fantastical enough, or it's too fantastical. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's my problem with it. Where it's like I love The Mist, like and I love Frank Darabont's version of The Mist, where it's like, yeah, sure, like there's this mist that takes over and it's a conduit to like another dimension, and there's all these crazy creatures, where it's like, to me that's more believable than a group of immortals who are sucking the power out of children with the shining ability. Like, that's more believable to me than that. I don't know what it is about it. I wish I could put my finger on it, because I wish I could tell people who, I'm sure there's people listening to this who were fans of Dr. Sleep and are just like, Dave, you're fucking crazy. Like you're nuts. That was a good book. You're nuts.
Tell us about it.
I don't know why you're not. I don't know why you're not with it. I'm down with it. Where it's like, I'm a little trepidatious, but I'm extremely excited because I like the casting. I like the look of all this. I like the nostalgia factor. I like that they're taking us back into both worlds. It's both a sequel, while the book was a sequel to King's
They're
book.
trying to take this serious. They're not doing it corny.
Like, this is more so an adaptation of King's Dr. Sleep novel than it is a sequel to Stanley Kubrick's Shining from 1980. However, it is going to pay homage and reverence and fit with both the Dr. Sleep novel, Stephen King's original Shining novel, and fit with
Flanagan.
Yeah, Kubrick's original Shinings. That's what Flanagan's trying to do.
Yeah.
So it's extremely tightrope that he's walking, and I'm still intrigued to see it. I'm liking what
once
I see.
again, I think our big blockbuster seasons are going to be having a brighter future.
Right.
Potentially.
This has been the summer started off pretty all right. It's pretty good. We got the Avengers Endgame, and then like
Endgame was great.
Everything else. We got
Absolutely.
Shazam. Shazam was good.
Shazam was great.
There's a lot of good stuff early on in the season. It's just, man, this middle summer stretch is just, it's long, and
it's been sour.
It's been pretty sour, but like the early fall is looking pretty tasty. Like we got Chapter 2 coming. Oh, let's not forget, we still got Us this year too, which was great. Again,
Us was a nice little surprise.
Early summer too. Well, late winter or even, but we've gotten some great films this year. It's just, we're so used to the spectacle of big summer blockbusters being where it's at. And I think
John Wick.
I think our sentimentalities as an audience aren't there with big summer blockbusters anymore. We're starting, as audiences, as moviegoers, we're starting to understand and enjoy nuance and appreciate little things that happen in movies when they happen, and the big spectacle is not appealing to people as much anymore.
Right.
We've been saturated with big spectacle. We've seen it.
Right.
We've seen it do fantastic things. We've seen it do some pretty mundane things. We've been burned by it before as an audience. Now we're now more interested in seeing more character-driven stories, and
sure,
it's why spring and fall have become the place for that stuff.
My only studio A category type movie
was Avengers Endgame.
Is Endgame.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to count Us, I mean, that was an A-, but like, that's, semi-studio, but it's not a big blockbuster.
It's just
as far as the blockbusters go, it's only Endgame.
It's a
so
weird
far.
year, but I mean, like there's been some gems that I've really enjoyed this year.
Oh yeah, there's been some good indies.
Well.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be fun to do our year-end recap and stuff. We do like our top fives from the
I
year.
always love it.
Because like I always feel like there's something in there that you and I haven't discussed. Like we always find that it's like, oh man, I really love this.
Well, it gets intriguing because you guys know I tend to watch a little bit more than Dave does, and I try to push him to see certain movies sometimes, and sometimes he gets around to seeing it and sometimes not.
Yeah, it has to strike my fancy, man. I
get it. I
love trailers, man.
I know.
So when you tell me to watch something, I immediately watch the trailer. I go, does this intrigue me? No.
And so the year ends get interesting with our top fives, and it's always fun to talk about. And I do love bringing those things together because I like it. I like it more and more now. I keeping track of all my grades year to year and like all the movies I've seen. I like.
It's funny because the movies
doing that now.
I always wind up liking and putting on my top 5 list are not always the movies that I graded the highest, right? Because my top 5 list always.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Always
that
comes
is true.
down to like my rewatchability. How much have I liked this movie? Like rewatching this movie,
personal wise,
right?
Like it's like a personal list, top 5.
We're like, I think I gave
Not
like a B+
grading.
to Annihilation last year, but that was my number 1 movie. Like I loved that movie.
Yeah.
Ready Player One's a movie that like I know it wasn't popular with a lot of people. I know a lot of people didn't like the changes that were made from the novel. I know a lot of people didn't quite go with it. I loved that movie. You know, I had a great time watching that movie. So there's still so much more season to go that like. I know a lot of people are pretty sour on 2018 right now, but honestly,
2019.
Honestly, it's just been a couple bad.
Look,
weeks.
we're 6 months into the year.
It's
right.
Been a couple bad weeks. Is what I'm looking at. It's been a couple bad weeks at the movies. Your blockbusters aren't panning out, but other than that, like a couple bad weeks, that's normal. That's February for moviegoers. Come on.
I'm very confident with the second half of the year. We'll be fine.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So that's gonna do it for Super Movie Brothers tonight. If you're enjoying the show, please head over to your favorite podcasting app. Leave us a 5-star review. If they allow you to leave comments, please leave us a comment. We also have some episodes available for you on Patreon for just $1. You can get the additional monthly episode
or more.
Or if you pledge more, there are other incentives for you there. So head over to patreon.com/supermoviebrospodcast. The episode that is going up very shortly is Bad Date Stories. Jay talking about date stories.
I love it.
And I have another bad date story. And I think also on there, I'll ask Chris from Gravity Beard permission to pull my clips from his bad date stories that he did over there to put up for people to listen to as well. So that all is available on Patreon. No movie talk there.
Who doesn't want to listen to that?
No movie talk, but I do have another horrifying story that was very similar to that of the one that I had when I was with Chris. But bad date stories are just bane of my existence because like telling the story causes me to relive it, and then I'm also just distanced enough away from it to see how fucking crazy and ridiculous it really was. And then also make sure that you check out our good friend Thomas Iannucci over on the Spotify's. He provides our trailer park music. He's a great friend of the show, and we can't encourage you to support him enough. So please check out his music. He's a fantastic artist, Hawaiian Grammy Award-winning artist. I always have to remind myself. God damn right. And then, of course, we are part of a network. We are part of the Podfix Network. So head over to podfixnetwork.com and check out all the fantastic shows that are part of the Podfix Network. You can also check out some of our movie cocktail recipes up there. I want to thank all of you guys for listening.
Yes.
Have a great night. Cheers.
Cheers.